Hi students, so here's a bit of feedback for your M1 task. So where do you get help to do your M1 task? So if you go on to sessions, session 1, I have a problem here which is very similar to the M1 question asked in your assignment. So if you click here, it is a solved example. So when you're doing your task, you make sure that you have your value of a and n determined for the given question using two given points. Now I have done the steps over here in the solution. So I have considered point 3 and 5 and I have derived the values of a and n. Now in your solution, excuse me, make sure that you have written all of the steps. So all of these steps are important. Okay, make sure that you have shown these steps and they are nice and clear, neatly written, because it is a merit task, and you should arrive at a and n. Second thing, steps have to be detailed like I just said, no shortcuts again. Now on the graph paper you should have clearly shown the x and the y axis and the scale used. Now what I have done is the scale that I have used, I have written it over here. So for x-axis, cycle increases from 0.1 in multiples of 10, and y-axis cycle increases from 0.01 in multiples of 10. Now you could use this scale or an appropriate scale which is like good for your task. Make sure that your graph is nice and neat. What I have done here is, we zoom in, I have labeled my y-axis, which is here, and my x-axis, zoom out, x-axis. Also make sure that your graph paper shows the gradient. All right, so this is again important. Make sure you calculate your gradient, and how you calculate your gradient is you draw a vertical line and a horizontal line, anywhere is fine, and then you measure the rise and the run, and then you calculate the gradient by doing rise over run. So my gradient I got is about 2.875, and you make a note of this gradient. Next thing, you must make sure that you calculate the value of a, find the value of a using equation. Now what equation am I talking about? That is the equation that is given to you. You must find the value of a using the equation. You must make sure that this step is present in your solution, and then compare the value of the gradient of n that you determined with your gradient. Now this will be approximately equal. I got my n as 1.9 and gradient as 2.8. It depends on how accurately you are able to draw your graph. Also make sure that this line is the line of best fit. The more accurate or the best fit that you can get to draw this line, the more closer your gradient will be to the value of n. It doesn't matter, you can have your gradient and your n roughly similar. The closer it is, the better. But any difference of up to 1.5, 1.6 is all right. And you also have to compare your a calculated by graph and by calculation. And once you have all of these steps in your merit task, you will achieve it. So again, find the value of a using equation and a clearly calculated gradient, which is what I have shown here. So make sure that you have all of these steps shown in your solution and you will achieve your merit criteria.